At least I think that's what the theme to Ultimate sounds like. Smash Brothers Ultimate. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Anyways, after I do this, I'm going to basically decide to do a little bit of recycling, and that I'm going to do some other stuff that I need to do. But I wanted to do this so much that I decided I need to do this right here, right now. And this is what if Naruto was in Smash Part 1? Or you could say, what if Naruto was in Smash Ultimate? Or whatever. And why am I doing this? Well, I'm pretty sure you heard like most of my reason before I even mentioned the title. I just really needed to get it out there. Basically, yeah. And basically, the story for this. What would be the story for Naruto being in Smash? Would he get an invite? Well, considering Naruto's life, because of the fact that he has the Nine Tails in him, well, I don't. Plus, how Sakurai said there are going to be no extra, fighters added. I'm going to bend the rules a little bit. Sorry, Daddy Sakurai. Sorry. Sorry, Daddy Sakurai. Not sorry. Because I'm inviting Naruto to Smash. Well, not really, because the way the story starts out is Naruto basically being kicked out at the age of 4, basically being kicked out of the orphanage. And then some random thug dudes and some ninjas basically tracking Naruto down. Now, before, the usual cleanup crew being Kakashi, basically Kakashi, Hayate, Itachi, and Neko, like Yugao basically, before they can basically, get this shit done and over with, like, just get rid of these guys trying to kill Naruto, or at least hurt him very much, very badly. Something happens. Like an explosion of light from a ball that seems to be hovering over Naruto. And it doesn't look like any jutsu that they've ever seen before. They even asked the people that were hunting down Naruto. Like, they're that desperate. They have no idea what the freaking thing is. But Naruto gets barely conscious and he touches it, and then it freaking explodes. That item being a false smash ball, or like a, well, whatever the thing is that looks like a smash ball but is actually an explosive thing. And basically, whenever all the smoke is like cleared up from the explosion, everybody realizes Naruto is no longer there. And basically, well, Hiruzen's pissed because he saw all that shit through his crystal ball thing. And, well, oh my god. And realizing that Naruto's no longer there, basically, Naruto made a promise about, basically to Minato about, well, if you guys have actually watched all the way that part of the anime, you would know. And Kachina, basically. Basically, Hiruzen is very pissed and also very worried. But meanwhile, with Naruto, basically, seeing as sometime like some stages I can't exactly remember the names like correctly or remember the names all that good. Or maybe I do, it's just I don't think I did. So I might actually say the right name, but I might not think I said the right name. So sometimes I just might say like the name of a character and then say the name of a stage. That is the case for right now. I'm basically just gonna say Rosalina stage, basically the planet thing that like spirals around, not to be mistaken for Spear Pillar, but Rosalina stage. Basically, fast forward over to there, and basically Rosalina and Luma they're kind of chilling because there's no real battles to be had as of now. You know, there's no real fighting to be doing. And until someone just flies out, like falls out of the freaking sky, like falling with style, instead of like there's no style, there's no grace, it is just falling unceremoniously into the ground, or at least one of the planets, like the main planet. And basically, Luma like brings this to Rosalina's attention, this being her stage, basically. And Rosalina basically goes over to look, and she sees that there's this person, and she has no idea like that there were still being new people like Smash, like trophy people being sent over because last time she checked and all the other trophies checked, Sakurai plainly said that he wasn't gonna add any more characters. So this is a very big enigma. And so she plain as like freaking sees the condition this person is in, and she's like, gotta call up Dr. Mario. And so she does that, and they kind of both see this shit, and like they actually look down because Luma points down, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there would be a name because our names are down there. Their name would probably be down there too." So they're not really a Jang Do or a Jang whatever the frick. Their name is down there probably. And they see the name that is down there as Naruto, and his damage percentage is 999. And Luma just like pokes him while he's down. And basically, whenever Dr. Mario realizes that like Naruto's damage percentage is 999, basically he's like pulls him away from like Luma. I was like, no, 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 no. We don't need you accidentally like attacking, like on accident. Like, sorry, Rosalina, I don't want to offend, but we don't need any of that. And Rosalina just gives him that face like, well, what about your vitamins and shit? Like she just gives him that look about, like, what about your vitamins? I'm like super vitamins. I was like, Dr. Mario is just like, okay, we don't need to be doing that. So, like, we don't need to be going incredulous on each other. Oh, yeah, freaking shit. So they just head to the training stage. The usual training stage. And so basically, Dr. Mario gets to do his work as a doctor, and he gets Naruto's damage percentage down to 0 by doing his doctor stuff, because he is a doctor. He has a PhD in doing what doctors do. And whenever Naruto actually wakes up, he, sees Dr. Mario and he's like, oh my god, a doctor. And he just remembers all those memories of, like there were some doctors that were nice to him, but there were other doctors that were not so nice. And so Naruto doesn't really know what to think looking at Dr. Mario. And then he kind of looks a little bit down, and not only does he see Luma, but he also sees his name and like a picture of like some of him, and a picture of his name and some of him, like a percentile thing, and before that like a number, which is basically 000. And basically, like since Dr. Mario and like Rosalina both know this. Like, Rosalina is able to a lot easier, you know. You know, Rosalina basically explains some shit to Naruto about everything. Rosalina basically explains, that guy over there was Dr. Mario, and the yellow thing that, was kind of touching, like, tickling, is one of her Lumas. And she's basically Space Princess. And basically, Rosalina basically takes up, whole thing of having the responsibility of teaching this, this green dude, all about, the world of Ultimate. That's basically where Naruto's landed himself. He's landed himself in the last world, or the Ultimate world, as, all the trophies here know it as. Ooh, they just call it Ultimate. And so, yeah, basically, Rosalina describes everything basically, and now she basically describes that whatever he was before, he is now basically considered a trophy fighter. He isn't just a trophy, like an assist trophy, or just like any trophy. He is a trophy fighter. Because, he can, fight in matches. And he even has a stock and even some stuff for like coin matches and like time matches. Like he has all sorts of stuff that other like trophy fighters have. And basically, Rosalind wondering why he was like brought here as a trophy fighter instead of something else. But Rosalina basically coming up with a conclusion of maybe this guy's special. Or maybe he entered and, maybe Sakurai already knows. And maybe there might just be a plan had. Because of something that could have possibly happened where he was originally from. And basically, Rosalina goes to look for the symbol of what game he's from, and all she sees is a leaf symbol. Or at least what looks to be somewhat like a leaf. That's from what Naruto's saying. And some of the bigger words Rosalina and Dr. Mario are kind of having to help Naruto with. And so basically, they not only have to teach him about how to fight, like how like the different controls, like walking, running, dashing, like like throwing, punching, or whatever move, like just regular hit, a smash attack, or a special attack, or even the possibility of a final smash, or even like a gimmick, like how Little Mac can turn into Big Mac. And so basically, Naruto does indeed find himself intrigued within the world of Ultimate. Like, he finds the world of Ultimate a very intriguing world. Although he did, have that small desire to become Hokage, he feels that maybe he might just be stuck here, and if he is stuck here, might as well make the best of it. And so, how exactly to make the best of it? That is until, time skip. And how long of a time skip, you may ask? Well, seeing as he was 4 whenever this happened, we see about 8 plus 6, I think. Because he wasn't even 6, he was 4. So, like, instead of 6 plus 6, 8 plus 6. 8 plus 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 2, because 8, 12, 13. I think 14. I think 14. I don't even freaking know. Just however many years along until it's, you know, actually time. It would be actually time for him to take the whole Ganin exam. Like for the third time. That would have been in the anime. But however many years that would have been. Like time skip that much. Like Naruto was like 13, I believe, like 12 or 13. 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 1. It's 13. Plus 2. 14. I think it's 15 years. Well, however many years. Just Naruto would enter at that time period, however old he needed to be, whatever. And he would be at a certain age that he would have been in the anime. That's how many years. Because you guys can do the math, because I'm a little like steamy at the ears here, trying to figure out shit. I'm gonna get the freaking calculator app because I don't want to seem stupid. be 4 plus 9 because 13. It would actually be 4 plus 9 because of the numbers adding up. So yeah, according to the calculator app, it would he would still be 13 even with all that shit adding up, like the extra 2 years on top of the extra 6. Like basically 6 plus 6, like basically the 4 plus 2, and the extra 1 added because I said 13. So yeah, basically how I guessed. Apparently, the numbers that I added up, basically he would be 13 still. Just making wanting like to be sure about some shit here. So yeah, Naruto. It would be 9 years. Fast forward 9 years. Basically, Naruto's favorite place to be would have been well, seeing as Rosalina and the Lumas are kind of like the Lumas are like really good friends of Naruto's. Dr. Mario isn't around much, and Rosalina is like the grandmother of all the Lumas. Like she is the granddad long leg of all the Lumas. However, she isn't around much either, because she's doing her own thing that she has to do like across the universe entirely of all of Ultimate. So really, the only like straightforward friends that Naruto's had in this time of peace, this era of peace, all these 9 years, have been the Lumas. So basically, Rosalina's stage, because I can still not remember it, the name of it, would be his favorite place to hang around. And, well, through all the 9 years, he would basically have developed his skills in the art of smashing. The art of the Smash Bros. And Smash Sisters. And, as to answering any questions about him possibly entering any tournaments, well, seeing as it's been 9 years that he's had to develop his skills, he hasn't really been able to enter any tournaments. He's been doing all this 9 years of developing his skills and God knows what else. Though he has tried other things like stock matches, coin matches, time matches. And, you know, basically doing his best. Most of the training matches he's done is like with his Lumas and Rosalina, and even some with Dr. Mario, and even, in intervals, Peach, Daisy, and even Mario and Luigi. Bowser occasionally stops by, but that's usually to ruin the party instead of help with it. Though there have been some times where Bowser's been willing enough to help, just as long as, Naruto doesn't hurt Bowser Jr. too much. Because, Bowser does care about his son and his other sons. So, yeah, he also has that rule whenever it comes to the Koopalings. And Naruto even once tried to ask the question of why the Koopa clown cars of the Koopalings look different from Bowser Jr.'s clown car. And Bowser actually said that it was because, well, he owed him that much for, lying to him that one time about Peach actually being his mother in Super Mario Sunshine. And Naruto just being like, seeing as you lied to him that one time, you feel that it's only right that you. Oh, so this is kind of like an apology. Yeah, basically, that whole thing. That's kind of why. Plus, it kind of like makes him like the prince of all Koopas, kind of. Even though there's like a bajillion other sons that he has. And so, yeah. Naruto actually has a couple friends. In the Koopalings, in Bowser Jr., though not that much considering the others sometimes make the argument that the other took it too far. Though it's usually Bowser Jr. saying that, because Bowser Jr. only really takes it too far with Naruto whenever he feels like he's losing too much. Like, and in the case of that, whenever he does actually do them, whenever they actually do the matches where Naruto says he's taken it too far, it's basically another word for cheating. Yeah, Bowser Jr. cheating is basically what Naruto means. Like edge guarding up the ass. Like Bowser Jr. will just one of those annoying ways that Bowser Jr. can like, freaking mess with Naruto is edge guarding. Like always edge guard. Because Naruto doesn't have the worst airtime or the worst like ground time. It's just he really doesn't like it whenever Bowser Jr. decides to edge guard all the time. And by all the time, he literally means all the time. Like, no matter what edge he goes to, he will always be there to guard. And that pisses Naruto off. But it never gets to the point where they actually act like they hate each other. It's just, it's like, you'll act pouty for some time, but soon enough you'll get over it. It's like they're siblings, almost. Almost. Though, Naruto. You know, they just act like that. So Naruto basically has the Koopalings, Bowser Jr., the Lumas, Mario, Dr. Mario, Rosalina, Peach, Daisy. So he actually has a lot of friends and even some people he considers more family than friends, but also considers them friends as well. And even Yoshi. He even considers Yoshi a friend. And Luigi as well. And Wario and Waluigi, like Naruto doesn't know what to think about them. Like sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not nice. Like I was like, you never know what to think about those guys. So yeah, that's basically how things have been going on. Then one day, when everyone is basically going to the melee version of Peach's Castle, at least that's what I call it, and everyone's just chilling, everyone's having a fun time, and all of a sudden, Naruto, since it's off in the distance, he can basically see it because he saw it before, but he doesn't remember the last time where he saw it. He sees a shiny thing, and he wants shiny. Like a man possessed. He wants the shiny. And it's almost like Bowser's the only one that can actually see this. And he's literally like, guys, it's Naruto. And then they all look over and it's like too late. Like, and he's gone. And basically everyone's like, oh my god, what have we done? And Bowser's like, and I had to be the one to get you guys to recognize that. Like, Bowser's just pissed because he was the only one who actually realized that that was there. And that Naruto was gravitating towards it. And basically, whenever Naruto wakes up, he realizes that he still realizes that he has his whole thing with his name, his damage percentage, and even his stock. Which is actually, his damage percentage and his stock are not down by any margin because he's been doing pretty well. Even though he has not participated in any tournaments. He even has coins and, you know, other stuff from different types of matches. And, well, it's just that. So, yeah, Naruto basically realizing that he still has all of that, when basically, from what he can realize of this place, that he has been here before and that he did not have this whenever he was there before. And also that he was pretty sad and just overall terrified. But he doesn't know of what. That is until he started to realize basically a lot of people seem to be very angry whenever they look at him, but they never voice anything out loud. Then he realizes the smell of something. He smells ramen. And he instantly gravitates towards the place with the smell of ramen. And then he realizes the Ichirakus, Taiuchi and Ayame. And, well, Naruto decides to, pick out on some ramen. And he doesn't really decide to talk much, which is weird to Taiuchi and Ayame because, Naruto used to talk all the time about how he was going to become the friggin' Hokage. And about that, Naruto has really simmered down on that thought ever since, he got used to his life in, Ultimate. Basically, Naruto's really simmered down on that, on the subject of that. So, Naruto just pays and leaves because, he does have that money. And, that also is something that, Taiuchi and Ayame, are kind of confused about. He has money. Naruto never really had all that much money. Like, who would give him any more than his, monthly allowance that the Hokage gives him? That seems a lot bigger than his monthly allowance. Because what Naruto did not know is that his amount of coins that he's gathered from, all his time in Ultimate had actually gathered, and whenever he came over here, converted into the money that this place uses, which is like Rio or something. Either Rio or Yen. It converted to that. And basically, Naruto almost as if he automatically knew where to go. Like, he saw a third floor apartment that had all sorts of slang shit written on the outside, and the inside didn't look all that much better from what he could see. And so he went all the way to the top, and basically, from the writing, he almost instantly knew this was his apartment. Basically, this place, he used to live here, and this was his apartment. And Naruto kind of getting a little depressed, all the memories kind of flooding back to him of the fact that this was, just realizing that, you know, just everything, all of that, being literally despised and hated. However, Naruto does have the ray of hope that if it happened to him once, it can happen to him again. The false smash balls, or whatever they're called, that one could appear and one could send him back to Ultimate one day, where he won't be hated for everything, but every single last freaking fighter trophy will not hate his guts. for whatever reason. And basically, Iruka sees Naruto, and he basically sees how depressed Naruto is, and he actually realizes that Naruto, what he had heard about Naruto is basically that the last place that he was the Ichiraku ramen place, or ramen stand, basically. And, he basically tells Naruto that the Hokage wanted to see him and Iruka, that being him, that the Hokage wanted to see them. Because he saw in his crystal ball thingy that Naruto had just popped into existence. And Naruto didn't even find the fact that he popped into existence. Like, he actually didn't pop into existence. He spawned in there on one of those spinny things. It happens whenever, like, either you get introduced into a battle or you get, defeated and then have to get reintroduced. Because of, like, stock and shit. Or, like, if you're, like, doing a training thing. But Naruto really doesn't mention that he actually appeared that way instead of whatever Iruka thinks actually happened, which isn't what happened. And Naruto knows this. And basically, Naruto was just like, he's not going to mention that to Iruka. And basically, Naruto now realizing that the Hokage wanted both Iruka and him to come over to his office. And that apparently the Hokage saw him. And that meant he probably saw what happened with his crystal ball thingy. And Naruto was just like, oh no, what if he saw? Oh no. This is going to get like the trophy fighters in Ultimate in big trouble. Because if the elemental nations figured out about the world of Ultimate, like, good lord, oh my god, if they thought Galeem was bad, like, Jesus Christ, like, everything, like, Naruto's whole time in Ultimate is, like, post, like, the story of, like, Galeem and, like, the Dark Dude and shit. I'll post all of that. Like, if they thought, like, the Lord of Light Galeem was bad, and, like, his dark counterpart were bad, like, they have no idea. So, like, Naruto's just hoping and praying that none of that has to happen. And so you're just hoping and praying, mostly on the half of the ones that he actually did make friends with. Because some of them were a little bit more reluctant to do so. But not really any hatred, just more reluctant. So, yeah. Basically, once they get, shunshined up there, Iruka doing the shunshin, and having Naruto just side along shunshined with him, which he's been spawned and respawned numerous times, Naruto has. So, the shunshin is like, nothing new. Like, Naruto has dealt with this, like, multiple times via, like, spawn and respawn. So, literally, it's nothing to him. And so, basically, whenever they get there, and whenever Naruto just sees, the third Hokage, hears in Sarutobi, and basically, Iruka's there next to him, and, like, the third Hokage is like, sit, you two. I was like, and Naruto is keenly aware because of all of his experiments, like, experience, like, working, not really working, but, like, just in Ultimate in general, like, out of his surroundings, like, he has to be. keenly aware of the Ambu. So Naruto is basically just like, yeah, but can you please let go of the Ambu here? I mean, like, they're kind of creeping me out. Naruto's just thinking in his head, like, yeah, serious pyramid thingy vibes here, these guys. Like, Jesus. And so, Hiruzen does the thing, and so basically all the Anbus are out. And basically Naruto's like, that's not all the Anbus. And basically Hiruzen, like, spots some of Danzo's freaking Anbus. And basically Naruto's just like, no, 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 wait, wait, I got this. And Naruto basically just jumps over there, and he's like, and just like, boom, poof, he sends them flying. Naruto's like, yeah, they're definitely dead. And like Iruka was like, what the hell was that, Naruto? I didn't even see any friggin' chakra. Like, if there was anything to be visible. Or any sort of shun shun shit. Like, and here is just like, yeah, me the same. Like, what was that? And Naruto's like, ah, crap. And so Naruto basically comes to the conclusion that he can't really hide anything now that he's basically broken open the glass seal. Or glass window, because of what just happened to like several of Danzo's Hanbu. And so basically Naruto's like, Kage Gigi, I know this is a really big demand, but nothing he has said here needs to leave here. Okay? Oh, and about the window, don't worry, I got that. And he just does a little whistle and a couple of little things just like around. And they're like, basically, here's in like Iruka, like, what the hell was that? And like Naruto just does a little thanks, Lumas. Like some of the Lumas actually did follow Naruto whenever they saw like the fake Smash Ball. Per the request of Rosalina, if that were ever to happen again, like some of like the friend stealthier Lumas, basically that they basically followed him, and so Naruto just like, okay, now nothing, you know, nothing that is said here is ever to leave here. In order to keep some very close friends safe. And here's and Naruto are just giving him that look, like, and Naruto's like, damn it, I really hope that would work. Okay, fine. But can you please only tell people that you know you can trust? Not think, but know you can trust. Please. It's a matter of life and death from the friends I've made, rather, 9 years ago. And basically, Heroes and Iruka are now so interested, they're like, they'll take the bait. They're like, okay, just spill it, and we'll try our best. And Naruto's like, well, at least I have that enough of that, insurance. And hey, that was like a multi KO, so at least I know my skills in the art of smashing aren't, getting rusty. even though I transferred over to here. That technically means I still have part of me that's still a fighter trophy. And basically, Naruto goes on to explain the whole thing with the World of Ultimate. And how, whenever he was there, he basically turned himself, or more or less was turned into, on accident or on purpose, no one really ever figured out, a freaking thing called a fighter trophy. Like, there are different kinds of trophies. Naruto basically somehow got turned into a fighter trophy. And that basically gave him a lot of different things he could do, even at a very young age. There were these very nice people that actually helped him with a lot of things, especially whenever Iruka and Hiruzen are thinking wants to help him with a lot of things because now he's even more illiterate than he was before. Technically, he was only 4 years old, and now he's 13. So, but Hiruzen and Iruka, seeing as they're so close to Naruto, they're wanting him to elaborate on specifics. And this is even so cherished information. Hiruzen really shows that by activating privacy seals. And even hearing and seeing seals, something like that. Secret ones that only the first and second Hokage were known to be able to use. That serious to Hiruzen. And Iruka was like, wow, you're using ones that the first and second Hokage were only known to have been able to use? And Hiruzen's like, Iruka, seriously, can you seriously look at me and tell me right here, right now, with a straight face, without lying, that you aren't interested like this too? This much, if not even more? Considering how you are, you're a Chunin, and I'm literally the Kage of this village. And basically, Iruka's like, fine, damn it, you got me. And Naruto's just like, fine, I'll tell you. So basically, Naruto tells them everything. At least everything he learned as his time as a fighter trophy in the World of Ultimate. And basically, since, what he did to those Rudambu, basically tell you, with one smash attack, he defeated, a shit ton of them. And basically, Naruto actually mentioned that the group of them in total was only, worth, a couple, freaking, colored polygon dudes. Barely even worth, a couple wireframes. And that's actually pretty pathetic if you didn't know how easy it is to defeat them. Which they wouldn't, considering they're whenever a fighter trophy, because, yeah, all that. And so, basically, seeing as how old Naruto is, and, well, he seems to be pretty good at least his taijutsu, in which Naruto just basically said that that was a smash attack, not taijutsu, whatever the frick. Even though he knew that's what they basically call physical combat. Basically just cross-chopped multiple of them across the face. But he did indeed mention that he had never been to a single smash tourney. Basically, tourney being short for tournament. He had never been to a single one in his entire life. As a fighter trophy. So the day whenever he did finally get introduced to the whole class was basically the day of the final test. And basically, with the Hokage actually being there, you know, with basically, nothing really been said against, his whole thing, the reason why he was there, even though it was like the only day of class that he was actually there, the graduating, thing. It was basically special permission from the Hokage. Right? And basically, barely anyone ever remembered him, except for Shikamaru Choji, freaking Shino, and Kiba. Yeah, they're like, and plus Hinata, and even someone like Ino and Sakura. But that's like a varying different degrees of actually like giving a shit about him. But one thing that Iruka did notice about Naruto, from what he did remember about him, is he seemed to be a lot more focused, even though he seemed to be relatively chill to like the not so keen eye. And basically, Naruto basically just wrote this off as basically him having to keep his skills sharp at all times, because in Ultimate, like everybody was, whenever there weren't like times of peace, there was always like a time of fighting. So you always had to, keep your skills sharp. If not in one way, in another way. And, well, whenever it eventually did, come time for the actual thing to happen, after, Iruka's whole thing about you're all going to become, like, freaking Genin and shit, like, I'm proud of you and shit. Like, after all of that was done, and the actual thing actually did happen, Shuriken and Kunai, throwing. Basically, Sasuke deciding to be, Mr. Like, top notch, like, top dog. He basically hit 9 kunai, 8 shuriken, basically while doing some sort of, like, Wonder Woman flip in the air. Look at this, with his freaking eyes closed. He hit, like, 9 kunai, 8 shuriken. And basically, Naruto was like, okay, Mr. Smartass. Hope my airtime skills in Ultimate, I haven't ruined my airtime skills here. Though he's kind of whispering that, he had to whisper anything about, his time in Ultimate in order to make sure no one else figured out. And basically, Naruto just deciding to, you know, rev up his smash attack while he was going to get ready to throw. And seeing as it was a smash, releasing and just foof, 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 sending all that shit out all at once. And basically getting, 10 kunai and 10 shuriken. And basically Sasuke, like, about to have a shit fit. And basically Naruto being like, the next part of the test, dumbass. Like, just shutting him up right there. And basically, the whole kunai and shuriken portion had been after the written portion, which Naruto, due to Rosalina's and Peach's and Daisy's constant freaking insistence, had indeed learned to be quite a bit of a bookworm. Because, in Ultimate, he never got kicked out of any sort of reading material. Instead, he was encouraged to read. And, well, that basically meant that he was, like, one of the top score whenever it came to the actual written exam. And by one of, I mean the top score. Like even like there was a top score in like male ninja, like male shinobi, and then there was a top score for Konoichi. And the top score for male shinobi was Naruto, with Sasuke right behind him in terms of the written exam. And Sasuke right behind him in terms of the kunai and shuriken throwing. Now came the part with the, type, basically a part of the test which is basically involving genjutsu. And in the genjutsu portion, someone had to put like someone in a genjutsu, and basically either someone had to counter it with their own genjutsu, or they had to find a way to get out. Besides that, and Naruto just, well, basically he knows about the shields and what happens if you hold one up for too long. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller until bang! And you're delirious for a little bit. And, well, he also, decided to keep some items with him whenever, eventually it would be whatever time for whatever occasion. So he also kept, some items that would do the same thing, aka the Deku nuts, or Deku, whatever. The, the whatever nut things that do a flash of light, that poof. That's basically the same thing if you break your shield. And so he would just let it fall, like, with a little bit enough gravity for it to just pop and basically get him out of the genjutsu. And apparently his genjutsu partner had to be the person who was basically underneath the tutelage of Yuji Kurenai, a genjutsu specialist. His partner being Yakumo Kurama. And Yakumo basically put Naruto under a genjutsu, and at the point that Naruto realized he was in a genjutsu, he basically forced his thing to go down. And a thing about that is, if it didn't go down, it would go up. So it would actually hit him with enough force to actually still make that explosion. And so basically, Naruto still knocked himself out of the genjutsu with like the pain of the explosion. But also had to deal with the fact that he was delirious for a little bit. And so by the time, basically, Iruka finally had to basically, like, Naruto did indeed get, good points for the whole genjutsu test, and the whole thing with the shuriken and kunai throwing test, and the written exam. Now that was left was the taijutsu and the ninjutsu. And the ninjutsu even had the extra credit part where you could, if you had any clan techniques or anything, extra that you could show off. And, well, Naruto had some surprises for them. The proctors, Mizuki and Iruka, because Naruto could definitely tell that he was being tested with some genjutsu shit. Because Mizuki and his shit had always been a suspicious bastard. Like, Naruto had spent enough time in Ultimate to know whenever there was a suspicious bastard around. Basically, yeah, that was that. So whenever it eventually came time for, well, seeing as Naruto basically passed the Shuriken and Kunai, passed the written test, passed the Genjutsu test, now what's really left is the Taijutsu and Ninjutsu tests. Hold on a sec. Oh, and by the way, if you heard a bang sound, that was my knee. First come, first serve was the taijutsu portion. And of course, Naruto had to get paired up with the freaking Uchiha. Oh, and that arrogant freaking smirk. And well, let's just say Naruto had 9 years, a total of 9 years, or give or take, of, learning how to build up his straights. You know, figure out his goods and his not so goods. And basically enough time to register the Uchiha's fighting style, the Interceptor Fist, as something he might want to. Mm, the Interceptor Fist to Naruto basically seemed like something that if you were, Ganon, you would not want to fight someone with this style because Ganon, he relies plenty on power. With that, like, Falcon Punch freaking style move that he has as his normal B attack. And Bowser isn't really a specific heavy fighter. He's more of a, like, not really a specific, like, not a specific brute with a lot of heavy, you know, that, but more or less someone with heavy but also agility behind that. Like, they really mean it whenever they call it the Triforce of Power. But, so basically, whenever Naruto thinks about, a style he could use, he actually just thinks, well, why not use the style of the person who taught him a lot of what he knows? Like, whenever it came to academics, Rosalina didn't just teach him how to fight. Rosalina even helped with the help of the Lumas. Basically, was his teacher, with Dr. Mario pitching in every once in a while, in case things got a little difficult. Well, basically, every once in a while, also, other members of the Mushroom Kingdom, the people representing the Mushroom Kingdom, like the different, like, fighter trophies representing the Mushroom Kingdom somehow, like, sometimes pitching in. Like Peach, Daisy, your occasional, you know, people just wanting to help out a friend. And even help with some of that stuff. And so, why not rep the fighting style that, represent the fighting style that, one of his first ever, if not his first ever teacher or teachers uses? Yes, that's right. Whenever it's time for heavy fighting, he would step out the Dr. Mario. But whenever it was time for like some of that good long range distance fighting, he would go out for some Rosalina and Luma. So basically, knowing how the Interceptor Fist kind of works from Sasuke's stance, he would drop the Dr. Mario for now and head up with some, Rosalina and Luma. So yeah, basically, Naruto has a very different amount, like very different, like a lot of different fighting styles that he can assume, seeing as he's had a lot of different teachers in the past, like give or take 9 years. And he's had a lot of different teachers whenever concerning a lot of different things. And one of those being, smashing, the art of smashing. In more ways than one, considering the different people. Oh my god. I am so evil. But I love it. Sorry, not sorry. Basically, with this kind of tactical way of fighting, with the way of, you know, the way of doing things, basically, Sasuke doesn't really have all that much time to, like, gain an advantage. Because with the way of, like, Rosalina and Luma, Naruto's kind of just, like, crouching tiger, hidden dragon. Like, we're just, like, snap jab, like boom, boom, and a bunch of different directions. And so Sasuke can't really trace the movements with his fighting style. Seeing as he doesn't have the Sharingan, he can't really trace such movements. Plus, it seems so unorthodox. It's almost like Naruto shadow boxing the dude without shadow boxing him. It's like he's. It's like he doesn't even have a fighting style. It's just random without being random. It's almost like he has another him, but it's not a clone. It's like a non-existent other him that's fighting alongside him. That's kind of guiding his movements to make it like there's two versions of him fighting at once, in sync with each other at the same time, not in sync with each other. Like he has some sort of like invisible partner coaching his movements to make it like there's two Naruto's fighting at once. And Naruto just makes this comment in the middle of the battle, and it's like, that's what I call echo fighting. Because he knows about the term echo fighter. So he just makes this offhanded comment like, and that's what I call an echo fighting style. Like, woo, woo. Like, that's my poor attempt at whistling because I can't whistle worth shit. And so, that's not even whenever the fight is over. It's just like, just kind of just like torturing Sasuke without actually torturing him. Kind of messing with him without even messing with him. It's just kind of how Naruto's whole Rosalina based fighting style goes. Like Rosalina and Luma. And a Luma. So basically, a fighting style that relies on a person being able to act like they're two people at once. And Naruto, surprisingly to some people that don't know about foxes and how they are, actually learned this very quickly, along with the Dr. Mario fighting style. Because of the general nature of foxes, he was actually learned the Rosalina and Luma fighting style very easily and very fast. It's just honing that is also like a difference of learning it and honing it. Though surprising to some actual, trophy fighters, he was also able to do that very easily and very fast. Just a little bit faster than he was able to do the same with the Dr. Mario. seeing as the whole Rosalina and Luma thing is kind of like something that Naruto feels tailored toward foxes. And basically, seeing as Dr. Mario is a doctor, he was able to deduce everything and basically give Naruto the news that the nine-tailed, little fox guy, despite the dude actually being 50 stories tall in all reality, was indeed inside of him, and that's why everybody was, such an asshole or a bitch to him, except for a small amount of people. And seeing as it's been 9 years, Naruto's had his time of, thinking about it, and even sometimes where he's actually, incidentally, actually ended up in his mindscape. Where he's basically just been able to kind of, talk it out. Seeing as Kurama just feels like, this is different. Shouldn't he be acting differently, considering who I am? And Naruto just has been like, well, seeing as everything, with everything like this, is like, Naruto's just, he's been chill. He's just been really chill whenever it comes to certain things. But not so chill whenever it comes to other things. And Kurama can respect that way of thinking, the way that Naruto thinks. Because it seems to be a way of thinking which Kurama actually agrees with a lot. Because despite what people may believe, he did not attack the village out of his free will. In fact, he was pretty much, going to leave the village, until they started attacking him. So, yeah, because, the control seal had been put on Obito, so they're not. Basically, Kurama was just going to leave the village alone. They just had to, start attacking him. And so then he got pissed off and started attacking the village again. Just now because he was pissed off that they were attacking him. And then he got sealed inside of Naruto. Well, at least like half of him. And then there was a whole thing where basically a session where basically Naruto decided to basically play the classic mode and basically go over to Master Hand, not to fight him actually, but he actually asked him something before he could do his evil laugh. And Master Hand actually got confused. He wanted to ask him if he could have the full version of Kurama inside of him. Because, for reasons. He basically said for reasons. And Master Hand basically was like, yeah, but he would need the help of his brother Crazy Hand. And they would have to, do this in a way in which Galeem, or like the dark dude guy, wouldn't be able to actually see this. Because if they saw this happening, they would not like this. And then Naruto has to remind Master Hand that, they already dealt with that. And then Master Hand would be like, oh, yeah, that's right. And Naruto would be like, Crazy Hand, can you come over here? And basically, Master Hand would basically explain to Crazy Hand everything. And Crazy Hand would be like, I already know. And then they would just give Naruto the other half. And then also explain to Naruto that they basically just sucked the other half of the Nine Tails out of the dead corpse of his supposed father, being, basically sucked it out of the corpse of his dead father, the fourth Hokage. And basically Naruto learning that his father was the fourth Hokage and everything else to do with it. Basically Naruto seemed a lot more chill, and everybody ended up figuring out that the reason for why Naruto's so chill is because, unlike, in the village where everyone seemed to hate his guts except for a select few people, and even then, he doubted that those select few people, that all of them were actually doing it out of the kindness of their heart. So, yeah, kind of had to put on that fake smile in order to make sure that no one actually, None of the people that were actually just doing it to make him like feel secure whenever really it was just like getting a little creature into its trap. He kind of had to keep everyone on their toes, so he like, made this persona. But around the people of Ultimate, around the like fighter trophies, like trophy fighters of Ultimate, he didn't feel that way. He felt like everybody was honest about their own opinions, and no one really was trying to mousetrap you. It was just the way of life. You fought or fought a different way, or it was fighting, and it wasn't fighting to kill someone. Like that did happen, like if you fell off the stage or got sent sky high, but it wasn't really ever forever. Unless like it was one of the big bosses like Galeem or the Dark Guy who was like the opposite, or like any of like the bad guys of the past. So yeah. And besides, Master Hand and Crazy Hand are really just a representation of a child. And so really, that's not that much like against them. So yeah, that's how Naruto was basically able to passively, talk with them. And well, you know, basically, he's able to be so, cordial with them. He's able to be a lot more friendly with the people, like with the fighter trophies of Ultimate, than he is with the human beings of this world. Even the ones that seem a little bit more dastardly than your standard fighter trophy, he's even able to be a little bit more friendly with them than some of the more dastardly people of, the world he was in before, which he's in again now. Like even Ganondorf and Bowser and King Dedede. Like, he's actually able to be a little bit more friendly with them. And, yeah, that's a special amount of ouch. Like, damn. But basically, after all of that is, said and done, basically, Naruto, like, everything with Naruto is, like, said and done. Basically, this shit is guarded, like, Hiruzen decides to guard this shit as an SSSS class secret. Like an SSSS class secret. A quadruple S class secret. And that it is like this shit is to be guarded like no other. Like if any other village found out about this, Konan was basically like Hiruzen believed that they were screwed. If anyone ever figured out about this shit that Naruto knew about. Basically, he sealed it up tight, like locked up tight. So, yeah. And it's actually, punishable by not just death, but by slow and painful death. It's specific about the kind of death. Slow and painful death. Punishable by slow and painful death. Like, no matter what the village has to actually do in order to kill the person. slowly and painfully. And about the whole thing with the rest of the getting exam, man, I'm all over the damn place. Basically, yeah, since Naruto is basically impossible to counter, yes, like Sasuke basically like loses badly with Sasura bleh, with with some basically Sakura basically saying that he cheated, and Naruto not even saying anything to her. Because that whole crush shit, it's done and over with. After having some, you know, girl talking with a Peach and Daisy. Because Rosalina didn't really want to, do any that talking like that because sometimes it would bring up memories of her mother, and Naruto didn't really want to put anyone through that. Especially someone like Rosalina who was so kind to him. And, well, oh boy. After having talks with Peach and Daisy about that kind of shit, Naruto was not interested in Sakura anymore and actually was able to realize that Hinata felt a certain way about him. Though he kind of had to gently set her down, like, automatically, because, in the way she was interested in him, he wasn't. He was not reciprocating it that well, and he never would, like, be able to do it that way. So, did he have any romantic interest? Well, yes, but not like amongst the public, and especially not amongst that certain girl's father, at least anytime soon. And it was until a certain someone was able to break it to said father and them not get killed. That is until one day, or basically, you know, seeing as Naruto, basically, we're just gonna do his own thing. Basically, hone more of his skills, you know, by himself, in random ass training ground. He actually found himself kind of being grabbed from behind by, and basically Naruto being like, you know you're not supposed to come in here. This is me and Enko only. And Ino would basically be like, yeah, because that person's already obsessed with this place. And, well, you train here to, as you said, hone your skills. I kind of already get the idea of what those skills are supposed to be. I think. And, well, just, I'm tired of you holding stuff away from me, Naruto. I'm really just tired of it. I just get the impression that you're afraid of my dad. And really, how bad could it possibly get? And Naruto would just look at Ino and basically be like, Ino, do you listen to yourself whenever you talk? The man is the, like, freaking head of, like, all of the Jonin. Like, Jonin commander. He is literally the head Jonin commander. He would destroy me with your clan's mind techniques. Especially knowing that I have, Furball in here inside of me. And then they would both just hear Naruto's stomach growl. It would be like a double stomach growl. And be like, that's not just from me being hungry, that's Kurama, one time I told you about him. I mean, I'm allowed to tell other people about him just as long as I trust those other people. And would just be like, and I know this. Because you do trust me. You just don't trust my dad. And like I told you before, we could get this solved and then nobody would have to worry about it ever again. And Naruto's like, no, apparently you failed to listen to me. That man is dangerous to my health. And this forest is dangerous to yours. And basically, just like, Naruto, we are going to have dinner at my house, and we are going to talk about this. Me, you, my dad, and my mom included. And Naruto was just like, oh my god. Fine, but only because you know why it's fine. And Ino's like, of course I do. And basically she would mouth the words, because you love me. And Naruto would be like, damn it. Why does she have to know why it's fine? And just be like, Kurama inside of him being like, and because you love her too. And Naruto inside of his own head would just be like, of course I love her. She's the exact opposite of everything that Sakura is except for the fangirlism. And that got out as soon as, actually start realizing that Sasuke would never reciprocate the love that she thought she felt for him. And that's all it ever was, a thought. It was never real love. It was just fangirlisms because she was in a competition with Sakura because they were friends. And I was afraid I was going to end that friendship if I actually, tried to, whenever I realized the whole thing about Hinata, I realized, I had feelings for the exact opposite person I thought I had feelings for. But how that would really go with, damn it, Kurama, you're messing up my words again. And Kurama's like, man, and you said Hinata stuttered heavily. Well, don't worry. I'm sure things will be fine with you and the Mind Walkers. And, Naruto would just be like, damn it, Kurama. Damn it. Naruto would just be like, damn it. I was like, okay, fine, fine. If only the others were here, they'd know what to tell me. And then basically Naruto would see Illuma, and basically Naruto would be like, Luma, can you do something for me, please? And Luma would just, twitch a little, and Naruto would be like, I'm gonna assume that's a yes. And, if it is, which I'm assuming it is, advice from who? And basically, Luma would disappear, and basically, while Naruto was getting ready for what he was pretty sure was going to be a date that he couldn't refuse. No, I got the Mission Impossible shit, like a mission that you can't refuse. But instead, it's a date you can't refuse. And basically, Naruto would just see, like, seeing as he had one of the windows open, and he always knew why. Like, everybody always, at least anybody who knew anything about why he had the window open, knew why he had the window open. Because, it was in case of, well, what just is happening right now. Luma just comes through there and just twitches a little, and then opens up a big thing, and Naruto's like, "Oh, it's been a while since I've seen you." And Rosalina is just like, "Oh, hello, Naruto. I presume what Luma told me is true." Yes, I presume that. And Naruto was just like, "Oh, Rosalina." I was like, Rosalina Chan, you're a lifesaver. And Rosalina would just be like, "Oh, Naruto-kun, if only Dr. Mario was here, he would probably kill you over asking for something so, well, at least he feels it's stupid. But I think you're just curious on wanting to make sure you don't do anything wrong. Which I feel that the way you say everything's progressing, well, you have said everything's progressing. I think you're doing a rather great job. And if these family of mindwalkers that you call the Yamanakas want you over for dinner, I say go for it. Be your usual self. Or as you say, your ultimate self." And Naruto would just kind of laugh at that, like, and Naruto would just be like, "I have my ultimate self." Well, thanks, Rosalina, Luma. Your help's greatly appreciated. Well, and by the way, make sure to send Dr. Mario this. At least he listens partly to what I have to say. And basically, Rosalina would just see Naruto open his Gama-chan wallet that he had received once in the mail and, pull out some of that good old currency, and he would see as it transformed into coins whenever it entered the world of Ultimate and into, like, her possession. And Rosalina was like, "You want me to give him all of this?" And Naruto's just like, "Well, sure, the profits would be nice. I mean, at least he bothered to listen, like I said. Even if he, feels that it's not that much of a concern. To be honest with you. As always, you know that. I would never want to lie to a friend, especially someone so close, or someone's considering it. You know." And Rosalina just, like, blushes, and she's like, "Oh, Naruto, you always were that sort of type. Don't worry, I'll make sure to spend my fair share of the supplies, and, well, not bleed Dr. Mario dry. After all, like you said, at least he bothered to listen. Unlike the majority of the people in your village." And Naruto was just like, "Oh, you, Rosalina. Don't do this to me. I'm not even over to the Yamanaka clan compound. You already have me messing up on my words and blushing everywhere. Oh, what do you want to make me look like Yamanaka clan compound?" And basically, Rosalina is like, oh, well, yes, that reminds me. Luma Handy told me something about the Yamanaka girl and how her family owns a flower shop. And it's just like, Naruto just like, no freaking way. Are you sure you want to do that? Because if it's lipstick or fire flower, I want you to be sure that you know what's going to happen if they use that wrong. And basically, Rosalina just like, oh, don't worry, this one's already quite used up in terms of ammunition. And just would throw him over a fire flower, like. And Naruto's like, oh, this one she's gonna find especially kawaii. And just, where's the proper vase for one like this? Oh, well, I guess this one I managed to carve out myself. Bowser would especially like this design. And then you would just hear a voice, what was that? Naruto, it's you? And you would just hear boom, 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 boom. As like he managed to stomp through the stage, and Bowser would just be like, Naruto, it's you. And basically Naruto would be like, yeah, Bowser, yeah, it's me. Just please don't be so damn loud. And basically Bowser would be like, Naruto, wait, you said, well, that one, that's the Koopalings and Bowser Jr. And am I holding him in a hug? No, wait. That's Ludwig. And wait. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's perfect. Yeah, Bowser Jr. is on my back I'm giving him a piggyback ride. And, you know, Naruto's just like, basically he's just like, yeah, in this one you are giving him a piggyback ride while, you know, giving a sort of reverse bear hug to, or is it a reverse or just a plain, bear hug to Ludwig? Well, Ludwig does indeed look like this, like he's trying to kill Bowser Jr. But hey, that's kind of how they act to each other in general, especially seeing as the actual reason for the actual difference in clown cars. Well, I keep on trying to remind Ludwig that all of the Koopalings have the same clown car design, not just him. And basically, Bowser would have been like, ho, 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 ho. Yeah, that's right. Man, Ultimate was so much more lively with you around, Naruto. That's why I'm so glad everyone agreed to the idea of having the Lumas the ability to graze upon the stars of even this universe you call your old home. You know? And Naruto's just like, yeah, it startled me at first that you would actually agree to that. But then again, whenever I thought of everyone who had already agreed to it, even Ganondorf, and King Dedede, surprisingly, or not so surprising, given our past in Ultimate, but especially surprisingly considering King K. Rool, even like, like, dude, even he agreed to it. And me and King K. Rool, the amount of times we have had butted heads, good lord, you would think I was one of the freaking Kongs. And Bowser would just be like, man, kudos to you, and you could second that notion. Oh, good times. Man, I really do miss you. You know that? And Naruto's just like, yeah, The feelings reciprocated, man. The feelings reciprocated. Man, even the Mii fighters, and the Mii sword fighters, and the Mii gunners. I miss all you guys. Each and every last one of you. Which is why it's so important that we keep this communication system with the Lumas and Rosalina and anyone else who actually wants to join in at the time up and running. I'm trying to do my best to funnel chakra through the Luma system, as we call it. The Luna transfer system. The Luna chakra the Luna chakra transfer signal system. The Luna chakra transfer system to still be operational. And so far it's working very well. And well, the actual amount of time that it's continued to be operational is staggering, to say the least. But again, with the person who's supposed to be, watcher over all the freaking, cosmos, being Rosalina, I wouldn't be surprised if it stayed up and running for a lot longer. Plus, she does have her Lumas. I just hope that nothing ever happens. So you guys stay sharp. And you too, Naruto. I don't want to have to ever be given bad news about you and your other world. You know what I mean, right? Right. And Naruto would just be like, oh, you mean that? Right. Whenever I told you guys about what I at least had heard about the time of Hashirama and Madara, over hearsay, I had heard that around that time, a ninja weren't exactly expected to live over the age of 30. And that got you real tense. I can still feel it, even through the system. And Rosalina would just be like, and that's because Bowser seems to be powering it with his own form of, what. And Naruto's like, whoa, dude, it's okay. Besides, I'm nowhere near 30. Besides, it's gotten better ever since the, years of the clan war thing. Ashram and Madara. It's gotten better. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's going to be just fine. And Bowser's like, that's not all that I'm upset about, though. Besides, who's going to be your sensei, and who's going to be your teammates? I swear to God, if it's that freaking... Oh. And basically Naruto would be like, we can't control certain things, Bowser. I mean, enough matches against Meta Knight and Marth ought to tell you that. And, I mean, come on. King K. Rool? Move, you giant-ass tank. And Bowser would just be like, yeah, that is the thing about King K. Rool. He is a tank. Like, literally, it is impossible to move him. Though DDD did at least get him to move, but it wasn't exactly a satisfactory way to move him. Though he did get shot into the stratosphere. He did have very high damage percentage, though. And Naruto would just be like, oh, yes, DDD's B special. And up chucking him all the way into the stratosphere of Rosalina's stage. Oh, that was the best KO yet. At least best for DDD. And to think it was a team match. Me, you, DDD, and Marth versus, I barely even remember all. Though I do remember the enemy team, K. Rool was on it, and that was the last one. We actually managed to win that, but not without our own casualties. Oh man, if only they had saw that smash attack coming. Though I do, how exactly do you pull that off? There's only so many directions you can actually do a smash attack, but knocking out two people with one smash attack? Then again, what I did to was Rudambu. And also, Kage's window. At least part of it. Anyways, I just want you guys to know I'll be fine. And Bowser would just be like, oh yeah, well, consider my condolences and good luck on your date. And basically, Naruto would hear, Naruto Nissan is going on a date? With who? And basically, Naruto would be like, Bowser Jr.? Do not let him, do not let him. And basically, Bowser Jr. would be there and be like, hey, Naruto Nissan. And Naruto would be like, there's already someone here who calls me that. Why does there have to be another one in Ultimate? And Bowser would be like, hey, I think you're forgetting something. Bowser Jr. called you Nissan way before that Konohamaru kid did. And don't you forget it. And then Bowser Jr. would be like, where's the logic in that, Dad? He already did. And Naruto's like, oh my god. You Coopers are gonna be the death of me. If not these stupid ass villagers. So, if I presume everything's okay, then nothing left more really to explain. Well, lights out. And basically Bowser Jr. would be like, but wait, I want to know how your graduation test went. And Bowser's like, he would just be like, huh. He would just be like, don't even bother. You're going to drive Bowser Jr. nuts with that. And Naruto would basically just be like, oh yeah, that's right. Oops. And Bowser would just be like, just know that your niece says now, basically, from the look on his face, he definitely passed in spades. And basically, whenever seeing the look on Naruto's face, Bowser Jr. is just like, Nissan, you passed! And Bowser would just be like, as if my word isn't enough. And Rosalie would just look at him and just be like, and Bowser would just be like, okay, fine, Jesus. And then you would just hear someone drop boom, and would just be like, did someone need a doctor? And Naruto would just be like, hey, Dr. Mario, what's up? And Rosalie would just be like, oh no, it just seems like somebody was more for the theatrics than anything else. And it would just be like, oh, Rosalina, did you really have to do that? I mean, come on. And Rosalina's like, no, you come on. This is the day in which she was to pass his exam and become an official genin of that horrid village. And Dr. Mario would actually put up a very valid point, being like, well, if it's such a horrid village, then why are you acting so defensive? And Rosalina's like, I'm defensive over the one I consider my son. And be like, oh. And Naruto would just be like, your son? And Rosalina would just be like, Luma, please stop. Bye! And basically, Luma would just look at Naruto after the transmission ended and be like, I don't know. And just go. And Naruto would just be like, basically just like zip out there. And Naruto would go over there, close the freaking window. And basically, he would just be like, she called me her son. But aren't fighter trophies not supposed to... Well, Bowser's an exception, in a way. I mean, literally, the guy's called Bowser Jr. And then there's the Koopalings. Can't really forget about those guys. Damn, I'm messing up my speech. Though, what she said, is it really real? Does she really feel that way about me? And then Naruto would just, kind of drift off into this, like, some sort of dreamland. As he would wake up and he would find himself into some sort of darkness. Though he would hear a voice. Naruto, it's been so long since I've last seen you. And Naruto would just be like, oh my god, whoa, what, Midna? And they would just be like, revealed, yes. It would basically just be like, yes, it is me, Midna. I see it's been a very long time since you last heard my lament. And basically, Naruto's like, yeah, it has been, and the last time I heard it wasn't exactly the idealist time. And, like, Midna would be like, it seems that you are in a very peculiar situation on both ends. I can tell you, though I don't know how you would feel afterwards. And Naruto's like, you can tell me on both ends? Just seeing if she's shitting him. Like, if it's only on one end or if she's just shitting him, like, in general. If Midna's just doing that. And Midna's just like, would it look like I would do that to you after such a success in actually managing to graduate? And Naruto's just like, I really don't even know how to answer that, but okay, whatever, shoot. And basically, Midna being like, okay, very well then. As for your teammates and your Jonin sensei, it seems that the strategist and the mind walker, and even the addict, are with you. And Naruto's like, by addict, do you mean smoke addict? Like smoking? And Midna just gives him the look. And Naruto's like, wait, mind walker, strategist. Wait, Shikamaru is the best strategist I know of. At least, I'm pretty sure I know of. Like, and like, most of his clan is that way in general. And mind what? Ino's the only Yamanaka in class. And in terms of smoking addicts that I can really remember being Jonin, at least all that well, like smoking addicts, you mean Gigi's son? Asuma Sarutobi? And Midna would be like, very good guess. Yes, Asuma Sarutobi has been picked. As the rule about the Inoshika Cho has seemed to be been broken by the fact that you are not the dead last. Yes, things appear to have been changed. And I believe by the Mindwalker, you know, basically means what I'm pretty sure you know it means. Mindwalker and strategist Yamanaka and Nara, Ino and Shikamaru, or as you call him, Shika, and as you call her, Ino-chan. And Naruto's just like, really, Midna, do you have to invade all of my life? Oh my god. Anyways, well, if this is all true, then the person I really love is on my team, and a good friend, as also a good strategist, is also on my team. I'm basically making me the middleman, and our sensei, the ever so smoking addict, Sarutobi clan member, Asuma Sarutobi, as our Jonin sensei. They're making us Team 10. And Minna basically being like, ah, yes. Ding, ding, ding. A winner is you. You originally planned to be on Team 7, but after some certain words were exchanged, and overall thought process was checked through, some moving was done. Moving around, you could say. And, thought process. And basically, now you know. And in terms of overall, in terms of things in Ultimate, well, Bowser really wasn't lying whenever he had said things were not as good as in whenever you were in Ultimate. You truly were the life of the show, the life of the party, indeed. It seems that without you, things just aren't the same. Yes, Bowser Jr. does miss his Nissan. His Naru Nissan. As I bet you remember him liking to call you. And basically Naruto being like, yeah, Naru Nissan. I remember that. Konohamaru never calls me that. And like Midna's like, well, I tried once, but well, after that one incident, he never tried again. And Naruto's like, oh yeah, I think I might have went a little bit too far. Oh, at least that's what Gigi says. But considering, how Bowser Jr. feels, well, I at least feel justified in saying that I didn't. Be comfortable saying that I didn't. And, well, now that I know about my team and happenings in Ultimate, is that really all there is to talk about during, dealing with Ultimate? It's just that things aren't the same with me gone. Really, how bad could things possibly be? Ah, great. I have a feeling I'm going to regret asking that. especially asking that from you. And Midna just chuckling, being like, oh, you know me way too well, Naruto. Or should I say, Naruto-chan. And Naruto will just be like, I have half a mind to punch you across the freaking face so hard that you will be knocked out of this freaking black void of darkness for saying that. We were never an item. For all of those 9 years in Ultimate, we were never an item. And basically, Midna would just be like, oh, and now I truly do indeed understand why Rosalina wanted you to be her son. So much that she even called you so before ending the transmission. You truly are something of something to her. I mean, was it really that bad? And Naruto would just be like, calm it, Naruto, ran in your damn anger. Midna, I said this once, and I don't want to ever have to say it again. No dibs. I am off limits. I already have someone in the other world. And I have considered myself off limits as well in Ultimate. And Minna basically just being like, is that because you feel the one you have compassion for in the other world? I'd feel bad if you did have someone who you feel compassion for in Ultimate. And Naruto just being like, he would feel upset, but the kind of upset that you feel whenever you're like the person is right. And like Naruto would just be like, damn it, Midna. Well, now I know this. All of this. Now what? And Midna's just like, now off with you to the little Foxy Woxy. And basically just poof. And Naruto would just fall into the water. And then just pick himself up, realizing that, like always, it's never all that deep. And basically go over to Kurama and basically be like, yo, Kurama, what the hell is happening? And Kurama would just be like, so she said everything, didn't she? Even about back then. And Naruto's like, careful, Kurama, I'm trying to rein in my anger. And Kurama's like, and you don't think I know that about you? After how long I've been sealed inside of you, I don't think you would need to remind me about how that woman ticks us off about that shit. It seemed like you were the only one in Ultimate who actually was able to figure out it was her, even with the armor on. And Naruto's like, don't remind me. It seems like the majority of, actual fighter trophies there didn't seem to actually be able to figure out it was Samus unless she had her armor off. And Kurama just like Kurama was just like, and she tried to use that against you, but you stopped her right in her tracks. And Naruto is just like, more like we did. Don't act like I have full control yet. At least not enough control to be able to stop her with my own will. You were poured in there a little bit as well, or else she wouldn't have been as chipper. And Kurama was like, just like, yeah, I hate it whenever she brings that up. Acting like we only had a thing for, you know, for then. But we still now, and Naruto would just finish on, we hate ourselves for it. Especially because of the existence of Dark Samus. Whenever we see Dark Samus, whenever we initially saw Dark Samus, we wanted to find the real Samus and comfort her because we felt that she was in danger if that thing was around. We were always too damn protective, and that alienated Samus from us, suit form or not. And that only made things worse whenever it was just suit or freaking armor actually met up with Dark Samus in Ultimate for the first time. There was some serious animosity, and us being there only made it worse. Samus not wanting our help, Chozo armor or not, only caused herself to get even more hurt than she already was because of that very thing's existence. We swore to ourselves we were going to make Dark Samus pay. We were going to make that thing pay. No one ever was a dark clone of them and stayed alive. And we would ensure ourselves of that. We became too possessive over, and because of our possessiveness, Samus was never able to truly reciprocate, and we were never able to truly reciprocate. And Kurama would just be like, and ever since then, it had been a long while since you actually ever opened up to anyone else, even Rosalina, Luma, or Dr. Mario, or even any of the Koopalings, Bowser Jr., or even Bowser. None of them. Not even the others. No one, except you and me, could hear each other talk. It was all just white noise. The only ones that could truly companionship with us were each other. No one else was there for the longest time. And Midna enjoyed this. She wanted to be the one that you loathed after, that we loathed after. A strong woman who was also as beautiful as she was strong, in or out of said Chozo suit. Because even out of Chozo's suit, she was in the Zero suit, and even in that, she was remarkable. Aside from sore eyes, the sore eyes of someone who appreciates both beauty and strength in a woman. Even if she is a smashed trophy. A fighter trophy. We still respect both her beauty and her strength, regardless of form. Until Dark Samus. This happened. And Minna drank it up. Minna was jealous, and so she led Dark Samus straight to wherever Samus went, and it never ended well. With a pretty much a GPS in her head, Dark Samus allowing her to be led by Midna just because of how much it wanted to hurt Samus. It was hell for both of us. Acting like all of this. Acting like all of that. And Naruto basically just be like, not even freaking. Like, just Naruto would be just depressed. And he would just be like, yeah. Besides, we don't even know if either Samus or Ino would be okay with the other being with us. Ultimate form or not ultimate form. And it's not like we can just, like, say to the other what we feel like, because we can never really catch Samus around. And even though Ino's around more often than Samus is, really well, even though we can't even get back to Ultimate even if we wanted to, because, well, that false Smash Ball hasn't really shown itself yet. And we don't really even know any other method of getting to either place. This other world or Ultimate. You know? It's not exactly like we can just, well, say anything to Ino or say anything to Samus. And for a multitude of different reasons. We don't even know what Samus would do, especially considering recent and not so recent things. And I don't want to break her heart. And Kurama's like, correction, we don't want to break her heart. And you seem to be forgetting that we both have hearts. And we don't want to break a specific person's heart. And Naruto's just like, yeah. Turns out, well, that's a true one. But what if how we feel about Ino makes her not to want to be around us? Then what are we supposed to do then, Kurama? And Kurama would just be like, I see. Seeing as you never really worried about that with Samus, now you're worrying about it like crazy with Ino. Well, I say what we do is at least try to, well, not try to think about what would happen if we were to do certain things with Samus. Seeing as Ino, last time I checked, isn't Samus. And we'll just worry about, things that we do with Ino. And not really worry all that much, considering Ino seems to be the more lax out of the two of us. Or more or less 2.5. Considering the fact that until a certain time, I was split in half. Now whole again, I feel a lot better, but not so much a lot better, considering the shit that you're going through. And Naruto would just be like, yeah, that's a whole lot of shit. I'm just gonna hopefully try to get some sleep. Oh my god. And hope that Gigi kept his word. And Iruka Sensei too. And Chroma's like, basically like, whole thing happened, and it's like basically it's like I don't see any deaths because there are some member because oh you had here your boys like very subscribed blah 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 blah, whatever and das.